Aloha everyone and welcome to Skincare with Hiram. If you don't know who I am, my name's Hiram and I'm passionate about teaching you how to perfect your skincare routine. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. Today we're talking about Tatcha Skincare, the legit, very popular skincare brand. And I was like, Hiram, you're doing a fancy brand, you should dress up for this video. So I got my expensive shirt. I know all my blue shirts look the same, but this one was like $45. So I want it to be fancy. It is time for another Truth About Tatcha video, and if you have been a long-time subscriber, you may remember that I've already done this video. And if you have been watching for that long, I'm genuinely surprised you haven't unsubscribed yet. You might need help. Okay, no, let's be real. I'm the one who needs help. But yes, I already did a video about Tatcha in the past. I think it's called Tatcha Worth It or something like that. It's one of my very first videos on my channel where I talked about two of the products from the line, of both of which we will be talking about in this video. But you know, I was way more ignorant about skincare then. I didn't know a lot about ingredients, and I was more so talking about my experience rather than talking about the formulations. And the thing I like about these Truth About videos is that I'm not telling you about my personal experience with the skincare products, because likely your skin is completely different from mine, and even if I tell you, oh my gosh, I love how this product feels on my skin, it's totally worth it, that doesn't mean it's going to be worth it for you. That's really where it comes down to the formulation, knowing what ingredients are in the products, at what concentration, if there are any irritants, and if it is worth it or not. And Tatcha is a brand It's a complex one. I don't know if I've completely made up my mind. So let's just jump into it because we have so much to get into it. I'm so excited. So first I'm going to talk about the brand overall, and then I'm going to go through the products ingredient by ingredient because ingredients don't lie, bitch. And then at the end go through the positives and negatives and let you know whether I think the products are worth it or not. So the brand Tatcha is a luxury skincare line that's most commonly known at Sephora. I think that's really where they started to get big. And I remember finding out about Tatcha when they had a few products, and they have since grown to be one of the biggest names at Sephora. I think one of the interesting things about Tatcha is that they've managed to create an interest level in all different age groups. I know so many people who are young who love the brand, and I know so many people who are older who love the brand as well, which honestly is very impressive and very hard to do as a brand overall because you typically only appeal to one specific demographic. The entire focus of the brand is really tying Japanese culture to skincare ingredients and products. And one thing that's cool about each product is that they have their own story, inspired usually by a traditional Japanese story. And each product is very well thought out, not only in formula, but the meaning and the backstory behind it as well, which, you know, really works when it comes to marketing. So again, Tatcha's doing really good. I'm not going to talk too much in detail about the brand because if you clicked on this video, you likely already know what they are. But one cool thing is that they do partner with the Beautiful Futures Girls Education Program, and they've provided 4 million days worth of school to girls around the world, which is incredible. Obviously, I'm a huge proponent of education, specifically globally, to get human rights to everyone. And I really like that Tatcha is outspoken about this. But one thing I've also discovered about Tatcha is that they have their proprietary blend of ingredients that's very unique to them. You know how La Mer and La Prairie use all these unique proprietary ingredients and charge up the butt for them? Tatcha has that same thing, but in my opinion doesn't skyrocket the prices like a lot of other luxury brands do. But this blend is made up of Saccharomyces, green tea extract, Okinawa brown seaweed, and rice ferment. And this is a really good combination of ingredients that not only soothe the skin, have antioxidant abilities, hydrate and plump the skin, but may have anti-aging benefits as well, all being rooted in Eastern philosophy for ingredients. So knowing this, let's get into the products, and I'm going to be listing these from my least favorite to my favorite, starting with the Tatcha Water Cream. I bet you weren't expecting that. Neither was I, bitch. This was one of the products that I talked about in my previous video, and honestly, this was the product I was most excited to try from Tatcha. As for ingredients, the second ingredient is their proprietary blend, which is really impressive. You're getting a super high concentration of those beneficial ingredients. It has propanediol, good for hydrating the skin, a good blend of silicones that'll help to prevent transepidermal water loss, which is what a moisturizer should do. And sometimes when it comes to water cream moisturizers, they don't have enough sealants to help prevent water loss, as well as glycerin, a bunch of root extracts, which are great antioxidants, and sodium hyaluronate, a concentrated form of hyaluronic acid that's going to draw moisture into the skin. The things I don't like about it though is that it's formulated with a pretty high concentration of gold. Like, it's pretty up there on the ingredient list, and gold is one of those things that's typically added for aesthetic purposes, but it can actually be a skin sensitizer as well and has a really, you know, bad reputation for forced labor. And normally I'm not too bothered by it when I see it really low on the ingredient list, but in this product it's pretty high up there, as well as fragrance. Now, here's the thing when it comes to Tatcha. Most of their products are formulated with a lot of fragrance, and it is very noticeable. Like, the second you open a jar, you're like, whoa! It's beautiful. It smells amazing. But it's still fragrance. And me no like fragrance. If you didn't know that, hello, you must be new to my channel. Here's the thing, I don't think fragrance is inherently bad. I just don't like it when it's added to formulas because it excludes an entire group of people from being able to access and use that moisturizer. I would be much happier if every single brand was to come out with 2 products, one fragrance version and one fragrance-free version at the very minimum. That way everyone has access to products regardless of what skin sensitivities they have. And on top of that, fragrance isn't necessary to the formula. It's purely added just to make this nice air aromatic experience, but does nothing to actually help the skin and only increases the risk of sensitivity that you can experience. And being that fragrance allergies across the board are on the rise, I tend to avoid products with it because it's just not necessary. There's no need. But again, Tatcha is a luxury skincare brand, and when it comes to luxury skincare, they usually really like their fragrances, which, you know, I'm disappointed. But the primary reason I don't like this product is just because of how it feels. This has one of the worst textures for a moisturizer I've ever felt, because it's a water cream that sits on the surface of your skin, does not get absorbed by the skin, and actually feels like a layer of grease. And when I first started using this, I was like, okay, this is just my skin and my experience. But I've talked to so many people who have used the moisturizer, and they all say the same thing. They say that it kind of sits on the surface of their skin, but isn't properly absorbed by the skin. And while yes, it kind of gives you that glass skin look, for me, I'm looking for hydrated skin, but not greasy skin. And typically when I see a glass skin look, I just think to myself that you are over moisturizing or over hydrating. That's not necessary. Plus, I want a moisturizer that really feels like my skin is able to absorb it. I like things that sink into the skin. And when I've washed this water cream off in the past, my skin doesn't feel hydrated. It literally feels like it sits on my skin. An alternative I recommend, and by the way, I'm going to be making more affordable alternatives for each of these products because Tatcha products are a little bit pricey. And even if I do like some of them, I still want to be able to provide some alternatives to you guys in case you like these product consistencies, but you're not able to consistently afford it. Because like I always believe, everyone should have access to skincare regardless of how much money you make. A dupe that honestly has a very similar consistency but performs amazingly is the First Aid Beauty Coconut Water Cream. This stuff I sing praises to constantly. It's been in every one of my favorites videos. I am always recommending it as a moisturizer for oily skin because I feel like it represents the best type of water cream that sinks into the skin, hydrates the skin, but doesn't leave you feeling overly greasy. It's fragrance-free, affordable, and really good for anyone who's wanting that similar consistency. Or if you want another water cream that's actually Korean, which Korean and Japanese skincare are very similar. In terms of ingredients they use, the Rovectin Clean Lotus Water Cream is bomb. It has a similar consistency, very lightweight, sinks into the skin very easily, but has a crazy high concentration of lotus, which has similar benefits to the proprietary blend that they use. Plus, it's like really affordable. And all the products that I'm talking about in today's video and the ones that I'm recommending are linked in the description box below. I'd really appreciate it if you were to use any of those links to do your shopping if you are interested in purchasing any of these products. But you know, as always, no pressure. They're just there as a resource for you, hopefully to make your life a little bit easier so you don't have to go searching for everything when you're shopping. Thanks, guys. Next is the Dewy Skin Cream, which looks just like the water cream, but it's purple and it's actually colored purple, which is pretty cool. This one as well, the second ingredient is their proprietary blend. It has propanediol, glycerin, squalane, which is going to be really good for hydrating and moisturizing the skin, a lot of good soothing and moisturizing extracts, and water binding agents, which is good in a moisturizer for more dry skin. This formula, as opposed to the water cream, focuses on a lot more hydration, and I'd say is better for people with normal to dry skin. It also has a purple rice extract, which is good for soothing abilities, but I don't believe it's the entire reason that the formula is purple. I really think that they do use like a coloring agent to make it that color. But unfortunately, this one is formulated with fragrance as well, which, you know, sucks. And I'd say out of all of their products, this product isn't necessarily terrible. Like, it does have a lot of really good ingredients, but I personally don't feel as comfortable using it because of the fragrance it's formulated with. A good dupe, which I wouldn't say is necessarily a lot more affordable, but definitely good in terms of similar ingredients, is the Biossance Squalane Omega Repair Cream. This one is formulated similarly with squalane, is a good rich hydrating formula, has a lot of humectants and hydrating agents, and is in a very rich texture, which is really going to be optimal for people with more dry skin. This one is a fragrance-free formula. I've also sung praises to it a lot, and I'll talk about another kind of dupe for this formula in a little bit. Next up is their Deep Cleanse Cleanser. Now, in my last video, this was my personal favorite product from the ones that I had tried. And honestly, I still think it's a pretty good product. It has really gentle surfactants that'll work to cleanse the skin without overly stripping it. Propanediol is the third ingredient. It has glycerin. The proprietary blend is the seventh ingredient. And there's a bunch of antioxidant fruit extracts. This one also operates as an exfoliant, as it does have Japanese loofah in it, which are kind of like a scrub, but honestly, they're so gentle. And in the past, I really enjoyed using this cleanser because it does give you a little bit of exfoliation, but it's so minimal and feels like nothing that it's honestly nowhere near the intensity or harshness of a scrub. This one does have fragrance, but I don't consider it to be a big deal because some of my favorite cleansers have fragrance, and because you're only leaving it on your skin for a maximum of 30 seconds, then immediately rinsing it off, you're not going to see some of the sensitivity that's likely to occur with a leave-on treatment. My one complaint about this one, though, is that it does leave the skin a little dewy, so if you are someone who has more oily skin, I don't know if this would be the best cleanser for you. But if you have normal skin or you do like that dewy finish, I'd say this is a really good cleanser because it does work really well. It just kind of leaves that extra hydration. Honestly, in terms of a duplicate, just go watch my drugstore cleanser video. I'm not crazy picky about the formulas of cleansers because you are going to be rinsing it off your face so quickly, and I feel like you can get a lot of good results from drugstore ones, and you'll be able to find the best one for your skin type, so I'll have it linked in the description box below if you do want to check that out. Next is the Calming Rice Polish, and Tatcha actually sent this product to me and a few of the other products. They were actually kind enough to reach out and ask me, like, which products do you like from the brand? We'd love to send them to you, and I was like, hey, if you're willing to send me ones I already like, I'm down. So thank you, Tatcha. I'm a huge fan of rice polishes because they're able to give you a type of physical exfoliation, but not to the extremity of a scrub that could overly inflame and damage your skin. This one is formulated with cellulose, and the great thing about cellulose is that it can easily break down with water. So when you start using this polish, you kind of feel a tiny bit of scrubbing, but it very quickly foams up into a lather and operates similarly to a cleanser. So you're not going to risk over exfoliating your skin by using it. It's also formulated with rice powder, a good amount of gentle foaming agents, and usually foaming agents can be a little bit risky because they can overly strip the skin, but the ones that I see they formulate with don't do that. Their proprietary blend, as well as colloidal oatmeal, which is an amazing ingredient for everyone who has really sensitive, really dry, really irritated skin. It's one of the best ingredients out there and will come up in another product I talk about in this video. Another thing I love about this one is that it is fragrance free. I believe some of their other rice polish formulas have fragrance, but if you were to get one, I would recommend getting this one because it's not only going to ensure that you're not going to be inflaming or irritating your skin from that exfoliation, but you're going to be getting a fragrance free formula with the colloidal oatmeal as well. I really like their polishes and I feel like they're one of their star products, but if you are looking for a good, more affordable duplicate, the by Wishtrend green tea powder wash is awesome. I've talked about this one a lot. It operates literally exactly the same as the rice polish. This one's formulated with green tea, which is also in their proprietary blend, but for a much more affordable price point. Next up is one that I recently bought and have been thoroughly enjoying. Tatcha the Kissu Lip Mask. Now, lip masks are always kind of a train of trouble for me because it's difficult to find one that will provide enough hydration to satisfy me while also making sure that I'm really contributing to the hydration of the skin rather than just leaving a film over the top of my lips. Like, I want a product to really nourish my lips. And I have to say, as far as ingredients, the third ingredient is squalane. It has a lot of emollients, which are going to be good for hydrating the skin. It has an ingredient called Camelia japonica, which I believe is in the green tea family, but it has a plethora of antioxidant, soothing, and reparative benefits. It's very similar to green tea, but in my experience, kind of more difficult to find. It also has peach extract for antioxidants, green tea, allantoin, which is going to moisturize and soothe the lips. The only thing I don't like is that it does have one citrus extract and it is formulated with fragrance. But when it comes to lips, you know, I'm not as picky about lips because first of all, it's really hard to find a good hydrating lip formula that is formulated without fragrance. And second of all, you have so much food passing your lips every single day, most of which will be more irritating than fragrance in a skincare product at a very low concentration. So I'm not as picky. But the texture and the consistency of this one is like so unique. I've never seen a texture like it. It's not a gel. It's not a cream. It's not a jelly. I don't know how to describe it. It is trippy, y'all. It's really cool. And every time I've used it, whether it's day or night, my lips are always really hydrated. They feel plump. They feel soft and never irritated. And objectively, it's one of the cheapest products from Tatcha, considering how little you have to use. So I think this is a relatively good price point. Next is a product that I've talked about in multiple videos, the Essence. The $95 Essence, yes. This is a very expensive product, but when it comes to a lot of luxury brands, Essences typically are expensive because they include the highest concentration of their most strong ingredients. And sure enough, this is made with 98.7% of their proprietary blend. So you're getting the highest concentration of those good ingredients. Now I'll say, from a formulation standpoint, I like this essence. I think it has amazing ingredients. I think it's simplistic. It does what an essence is supposed to do, which gives you a really high concentration of those good ingredients. And it's fragrance free, but that's pretty standard for most good quality essences. My critique of this one is that it's expensive. Like, it's really, really pricey for what you're getting. Understood, this is going to last you like probably a good 6 months at least, because you don't need to use very much, but still, $95 for a step that is not even necessary in a skincare routine makes me clutch my pearls a little bit. That's expensive. But you know what, when it comes to my personal philosophy on products that are expensive but still have really good ingredients, I'm kind of indifferent to it. It honestly comes down to you and your preference. Like, I am totally fine spending a good amount of money on a high quality skincare product. I don't have an issue with that. What bugs me is when companies charge a crazy high price point for a product that is formulated with a lot of irritants, which is most luxury skincare. And this has always left my skin hydrated and plump. I wouldn't say I've seen incredible results from it, but I haven't seen bad results, and I like this one. But if you are looking for a good affordable alternative, one that I've been using recently and was actually featured in my Harper's Bazaar video is the Isntree Green Tea Fresh Toner. This one, the formula just blew my mind because the first ingredient, the first one, is green tea extract. Do you know how hard that's to find? What? Do you know how hard that is to find? Green tea is one of those ingredients that companies love to charge so much for. And typically it'll be at the very bottom of the ingredient list, but this one's fragrance-free, has a bunch of other amazing formulas. My skin loved it, and it's really affordable. Green tea from Korea herself. So feel free to check this one out in case you're like, ugh, that's a little bit expensive for the Tatcha one. Next is the One Step Camelia Cleansing Oil, which Tatcha sent me. I have used this one for a long time. I say I've used it inconsistently, like over the past 2 years, and in my opinion is one of the best products from the brand. The second ingredient is rice bran oil, which is very rare to find in a cleansing oil because cleansing oils tend to be a little bit more, you know, cheap with their ingredients because you're just rinsing it off your face. As well as Camelia japonica oil, the ingredient I was talking about before that has so many amazing benefits. To see both of these in a cleansing oil to me is just super impressive. It really shows that they care about the quality of the formulation rather than just the experience, which inevitably is just about mixing your makeup on your face and getting it off. It also has green tea and algae, which is going to be good for hydrating the face. It does have fragrance, but I don't find it problematic, like I said before, because it is a rinse-off treatment. And honestly, I can't say anything but good things about this cleansing oil. I think it's so good for removing sunscreen, removing makeup. I will say it may not be the best for removing makeup if you wear a lot, like full coverage every day. I have heard from some people that it's not the best for that, but if you are someone like me who just wears sunscreen or maybe a little bit of powder, I think this one is a really good one to go for. It is, you know, pricey like everything else with Tatcha, but I highly recommend this one. I think it's so good. But if you are looking for a dupe, I have two, either the Purito from Green Cleansing Oil, which is olive oil based but has good soothing ingredients and works well to remove makeup and sunscreen from your face, or one of my personal favorite cleansing oils, the iUnik Calendula Cleansing Oil, because it includes sunflower seed oil, another very high quality ingredient that's really never used in cleansing oils and works really well to get everything on your face and hydrates it like this one. And then we come to the final product from the brand, my personal favorite, the Indigo cream. I have had my eyes on this formula for so long. The ingredient list is amazeballs. First of all, it's formulated with 2% colloidal oatmeal, which is very high concentration of colloidal oatmeal to the point that it's actually listed as a medically active ingredient. I believe it's FDA approved for this formula. That means you're going to be getting a lot of the benefits that colloidal oatmeal provides. The second ingredient is squalane. It has rice bran wax, which is really going to be good for moisturizing your skin. The proprietary blend is the 9th ingredient. It has antioxidant heavy root powders. And looking at the ingredient list, I think it's a good balance of really high quality ingredients, but not an overabundance, which could contribute to sensitivity, because this product is specifically marketed towards people who have really sensitive skin. Now, I like it because it's fragrance free, so I can count on that, but it definitely is more formulated for someone who has really dry, really damaged, really sensitive, irritated skin. And I personally like using it as a night cream because overnight I like to hydrate this bitch to no end. And this one does a great job of it. My only complaint is that it's $85. That is really expensive. But you know, I would totally be willing to buy this because it represents a formula that I believe is really high quality. I love how my most expensive blue shirt is $45, but I'm totally down to spend $85 on a skincare product. Priorities. A very similar formula to this one, but for a much lower price point, is the First Day Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. I've talked about this one to no end. This one is also formulated with a crazy high concentration of colloidal oatmeal. It helps resolve my eczema. It has bomb ingredients and is much more affordable than the Tatcha one. So if you are looking for one that is a little bit more doable for your budget, I'd say go with this one. You're going to get a very similar effect. And here we are, my final thoughts on the brands, the pros and the cons. As for the pros, I love that Tatcha creates really high quality formulations. When it comes to luxury skincare, most of the formulas are shit. They're terrible. They're completely focused on just making it feel nice and smell nice, but not helping your skin at all. And Tatcha, you can really tell, puts a lot of work into making sure that they're using a lot of really high quality ingredients, hence why I've always been so attracted to this brand. And I also really like that the brand does give back to help empower girls through education. That being said, I am not a fan of the price point. I think Tatcha is very expensive, and while yes, I am willing to purchase some of their products, a lot of their formulas have irritants like fragrance, and for the price point they're charging, I'm just like, girl, I don't know, that's pricey. Of course, I don't like that a lot of their formulas are formulated with fragrance. It's a commonly known irritant, it's not necessary in formulas, and my hope is that they will either come out with more fragrance-free formulas in the future, or they will release fragrance-free version of their most popular products. Because we're definitely seeing an industry change right now where more and more people are demanding fragrance-free formulas, which makes me so happy to see. I'm so proud of y'all. And my last critique is that while yes, these formulas are very high quality, they are very similar to a lot of Korean skincare brands that you can find for a much lower price point. Yes, when I walk into Sephora, a lot of these formulas will be objectively better than the majority of brands I find there. But when I go to a Korean marketplace website, I will instantly find products that are just as good, whether it be Purito, iUnik, Some by Me, Rovectin, Wishtrend, that have just as amazing formulas, but for a much lower price point, which makes me kind of, you know, not necessarily grabbing these off the shelves. So what is my overall take on this brand? I think Tatcha is okay. I like that they have a lot of good formulas that I would consider to be very high quality, but I don't think that they're a necessity, and I don't believe that you have to spend that much money on skincare. What do you guys think of Tatcha and this review? I would love to know your thoughts in the description box below. Do you have favorites from this brand? Do you agree with me? Do you not? I want to hear everything. And also let me know what brand you want me to review next. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and to the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.